Hi and welcome back to It's a Miracle Beauty. My name is Brady and I am mainly a pan challenger, things like that. I am about using what we have and not buying more. That being said, doesn't mean I never buy makeup. It just means I'm on a conscious makeup journey that I'm trying to be careful what I buy and then try to use what I have. So just a heads up, and I feel like this happens all the time, so please have patience with me. I am filming quite a few videos today. So I am filming my pan challenge update. I am filming my empties. I am filming a unexpected declutter. That's what this one is, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail. And that might be it. I can't remember. Empties, pan. Yeah, I think that's it. I actually have quite a few autoimmune issues and been having health problems recently, and then I also have surgery coming up. So I'm trying to pre-film a little bit in order to have videos that go up scheduled when I am out for surgery. So I can't film for 2 full weeks when I'm out for surgery. So for 2 full weeks, I'm not able to film. I may do one of my cash stuffings during that time frame, but I might just wait and hold it till I get back. It's not that I can't move. I can't drive and I can't do any heavy lifting for 6 weeks, drive for 1 week, lifting for 6 weeks and some other things. But her big thing is she wants me to rest so I don't end up in a lupus flare up or anything like that. So that's why I'm pre-filming. Hopefully it's okay. One more key point. I do only have my LED lights on today. I set up my ring light and it just looked to be way too bright and washed out, and I didn't want that in this video. So I will see when I edit if that is actually what it looks like, because sometimes viewfinder versus looking at the computer can be completely different. So if there's any shadows, I apologize. These LEDs are very bright. Usually they are enough, and the ring light tends to like create literally a ring on you, which can be nice when you're actually putting on makeup or you're talking about the application of what you're wearing. I'm talking more products in this and not wearing all of them or any of them, I think. I'm not sure. This declutter was very unexpected. Long story short, I did a declutter in December prior to doing my inventory, and I decluttered a ton. I was actually embarrassed. No, I was after I did my inventory. It doesn't matter. I was really embarrassed at the amount of old stuff that I found. I was really upset with the amount of money that was wasted, but I checked every product for scent, condition, performance. A lot of things were moved into my pan challenges. A few things even get decluttered after because they weren't as good as I thought they were. But I really didn't think anything about anything else. And I will say many things that I have in this declutter are actually things I bought since the new year or in the middle of last year or newer. But either they're not working for me, they actually have gone bad early, or something else is going on, which I'll explain when we get there. I do want to point out one key thing. Not one key thing, a few key things. One, just because I am decluttering does not mean you need to. If you are happy with your collection, if you don't have a collection, you just have some, don't feel pressured because of these videos to do it for you. I'm doing what works for me, not because I watched a video and thought I needed to do it. It's because, and I'll explain what the item is, something spurred me to do this. And then the other thing I'll say is don't ask for makeup. No one is going to mail makeup like this. First of all, it's a liability because if it went bad and it hurt you or whatever, but then also it's expensive. It's very expensive to ship things. It's time consuming, and I already don't have time. So that being said, what created this reason for this with me is I have been doing a regularly scheduled cycling of my skin. So I've been doing retinol, lactic acid, and then cycling and using my oils and things on it. I suddenly got a breakout right around here. I'm not sure it's going to pick up on camera because it's on its way out now. And that is very normal with retinol. When you use it on a regular basis, your skin will purge. It takes like 6 weeks to get through. Every time I go through it, I forget about it, and then it starts happening, and I'm like, what's happening? I don't typically get acne. So I was at the doctor's, not the dermatologist, just another doctor, no need to say what. And she asked me about it because she deals with my stomach, and so that can affect your skin and different things. And so she wanted to make sure it wasn't a rash related to skin issues or stomach issues. And I explained to her I thought it was retinol purging, and she said, well, the number one reason she sees people have acne that normally don't have acne in her practice is old makeup. So her and I talked about it. I did advise, tell her, I often have a lot of old makeup in my stuff. I often will have something that's years old, still smells good, looks good, works good. I'll keep using it. And she said, well, you shouldn't do that, which we all know. And so she said, well, she kind of reminded me, and I already knew about the website. There's a website, actually I brought my phone to grab it for you. There is a website called checkfresh.com. You actually put in the brand and the lot number, and then it tells you when that product was manufactured. And those dates are not, those codes are not recycled for 10 years. So you for 10 years can check things. If it's older 10 years, it's probably not an accurate representation, meaning the makeup's older than 10 years. So I checked things I thought might be a problem. And then I was like, maybe I should check more. And then I found out that things I bought this year were actually manufactured in 2015, and I bought them at a reputable place. I didn't buy them like at TJ Maxx or whatever. Things I bought last year were from 2019, 2018. Now there's a caveat there because technically the expiration date of 1 year, 6 months, whatever starts when you open it. So just because it was manufactured in 15 does not mean technically it was bad. No, I'm sorry, but that's 8 years depending on what month. That's not okay. Now if it was like 19, didn't get open until 22 maybe, but I would think it'd be even less than that. So then intermix in here are just things I've decluttered because I don't like them or they're not working for me. Anything that's not expired, not ancient, not unsafe is going to my daughter. I give her full reign to give away anything she doesn't want. She's a lot of friends her age and around her, so she has that ability. If she doesn't want it, then I don't care what she does with it. But I do give a majority of it to her. So I am going to try to do this not 100% by like what it is, but I'm going to try to do like all the primers together. I'm going to try to do all the foundations because this is all complexion and it is full. Like it is, cannot fit another thing and it's very heavy. Vast majority of this is bad. I'm going to say that right now. Vast majority of complexion is bad. Not all of it is. So what's not bad, I'm going to give to her. And she's darker skin than I am, but not that much. She is maybe a 2 shades, maybe 3 shades. I don't know. When she was younger, she was tan so much I thought she was a lot darker. But now that she has a tan, because she has kids and she's busy, I realize she's actually fairer than I realized. So let's talk about primers first. So I have a couple that are brand new that I'm going to give to her. And then I have some that are ancient. So one that is not brand new, but is unopened, and I am going to give it to her because it's unopened and I've only had it maybe 6-8 months, is the Bite Beauty one. This is the Changemaker Skin Optimizing Primer. So I've never used it. I can't attest to what it is. I bought it to use it. I actually thought I did use it, unless maybe I got another one. I decluttered it. I bought this when they were going out of business. Since it's unopened, I'm going to give it to her. And I have a little bag for her down here that I'm putting stuff in. 2 that I'm just tossing and I'm just pointing it out so you know what's happening is Estee Lauder and Smashbox Photo Finish. I don't like these kind of primers. These are the original Photo Finish, and this is the Pore Smoothing, the Smoother by Estee Lauder. I don't like these. They feel funny on my face. I have dry skin, so I don't need the oils to be kept. I want as much oil to come through as I can get. And this is one that is actually another one of those, but I didn't realize it when I bought it online. And this is the Time... Well, it's from the Balm, but it's the Time Balm Face Primer, and it's for a flawless face. Looks like this. I don't even know if they sell this anymore. I don't even know what the Balm does anymore, but I bought this to do a full face of the Balm. When I had this channel previously, it's been rebranded and started new. It's a long story. You have to go back some videos to see the full history, but I used to do full face Fridays, and I bought this to do it. I stopped that channel when I got sick and some financial things happened, and I never did the video, and honestly, it's so expired by now. That's like 2021 or late 2020, so I'm tossing that. This one I actually enjoyed when I originally used it. It's the Milani Prime Light, and it does look like this. And I like this when I was using it. There's only maybe about this much or less in it. It's hard to tell because this one, it doesn't let you get all the air out without squeezing product, even when you like do the little inch by inch. But it feels and it looks to be pretty low. I thought this was really good. It actually reminds me a lot of the Youth primer from Charlotte Tilbury. Very similar consistency. I don't know if they're dupes because I've never actively compared them, but the consistency is very similar and it's very glowy. Or the Oven Glitter. This one it's embarrassing how old this is. This is late 19, early 20 because it was pre-COVID shutdown, and I worked at Ulta as a beauty advisor, and then I actually did lead cashier, and then I tried out being a manager. I hated it. I was like, nope, I'm good. Thanks, you can keep that. Went back to a beauty advisor. So this was given to me because I hit the top number of sales for Strivectin, and I think it was that Sunday or that day, but it could have been that week. I don't really remember, but they gave this to me, and I never used it ever once. I kept thinking, I'm going to learn how to use that good because I'm getting older, and Strivectin is made for wrinkles. It's the anti-wrinkle blur line perfector or line blur perfector. I never used this once and I can't stand it, but also it's so expired. Like it's so expired. So that's going in the garbage. What I actually tried today. So originally when I was going to film this, I was actually going to film not the actual putting the makeup on, but I was going to wear makeup that I was either decluttering or thinking about decluttering, like a chopping block thing. I never even get to finish. I washed my makeup off. The foundation was hideous. First of all, it's ghastly the wrong shade, and I'll show you that one in a minute, but it's the wrong shade. It also dried down. So it was supposed to be a moisturizing foundation. It dried down so fast I couldn't even blend it. So that didn't happen, but I did try this in this, even though I'm pretty sure this is at least 2 or 3 years old, if not older. I got it at Walmart a long time ago. And let me think how I can word this. If a moisturizing primer and the e.l.f. Power Grip or the Milk Makeup Grip had a baby, it would be this. It's kind of grippy, but not totally grippy, but it definitely has like that consistency. I personally don't like it. I like the grip ones. I don't like this one. And it's old. Why am I putting this on my face? So we're going to get rid of that. I think that might be all the primers. Okay. I'm going to do concealers next only because there's not that many and they're all kind of right on top. So I want to grab these. Some of these are samples. Some of these I bought. Some of these are travel. Like there's a lot are intermixed in here. If you don't notice, I like doing groupings. I have ADD and it helps my brain. So hopefully you can bear with me. So this is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. This one just smells horrendous. It's obviously gone bad. I don't know exactly. I used to have the full size of this, like, and I decluttered it during COVID. So I don't know exactly when I bought this. It could be a year or 2 years. I have no idea, but it is bad. Tarte Creamy, it's the same thing. It's a travel size, went bad. Also completely wrong shade, even for my glow in the dark behind. Not gonna work, you know, well, not my behind literally, but you know what I mean. These two are free Sephora like gifts. If you order an order, they let you add them, and I had not yet bought this one, and so I bought, let's see, this is a number 1, which I don't think mine's a number 1. I think mine's like 1.5 or 2. I don't remember exactly. This is a nice concealer. It's very hydrating, and unlike her foundations, which I have 2 in this declutter, unlike her foundations, I actually find her concealers to work really well. Even the one with the horrible packaging, the magic one, I liked that concealer. I thought it worked fantastic. The packaging sucked, and I ended up decluttering it when I only had like this much left in it because I just couldn't get it out. So these technically aren't bad, but there's no way in hell my daughter could use this because this is even too late for me. So because they were free samples, I am going to toss these. If they weren't a cream, then I might try to find someone like I knew, but because it's a cream, I don't feel comfortable. I have 2 from Benefit. I have one is the pink color corrector in Lychee or Lychee, and the other one is in, it does, oh, 2.5. So these are, there's the fatter one of the 2 is actually not bad. It's just ancient, and it doesn't smell like it's gone bad, but definitely doesn't smell like it does when they're new. And this one is supposed to be a color corrector, and it's very drying. I would not feel comfortable using this with my 44-year-old under eyes. So again, because they're cream and she couldn't use them, I'm tossing those. One I think I paid $3 or $4 for is the e.l.f. Flawless Brightening. This is kind of viral right now. I never understood what people liked in this. I would have never tried it if it wasn't so cheap. I ended up getting either free or close to free in my Ulta Points type orders, but I don't understand the hype on that, so that's going. And this is another one that went bad. This is the Tarte. I had all of the Tarte foundations and I had all the Tarte concealers pre-COVID. I'm a very big Tarte fan. I like their stuff. I think it's really good. I never realized that they only have like 6-month shelf lives. And I don't know if this one, yep, 6 months. So they only have 6-month shelf lives. And I think they truly have 6-month shelf lives because every Tarte product that I kept longer ends up stinking, ends up, you know, it's not like Kosas as much where it turns green, but they just end up stinking and smell like Sharpie. So that's gone. And then this one I should have returned. I'm going to say that right now. This is not the brand's fault, although I do think the formula doesn't work for me. It probably would for a different thing. So this is the REM Beauty concealer. This is the one that, I don't know if they're still sold at Ulta because I don't know what's going on there with the whole bankruptcy thing, but this is like ghost white. In the like lighting of the store, it looked like fairer, so I would have like a brightened under eye. And then I got home and I was like, that's like whiter than my underarm, which is like your palest part. So it doesn't work for me, but also it is super drying. So like when I use this, even if I try to use it for color correcting, it dries it out and makes my eyes look like desert eyes. I did it today, had to wash it all off. It was horrible. So that's going. So that is everything except for I realized I forgot one primer. This one is not garbage. It's going to my daughter. This is the One Size Secure the Blur. During the Black Friday shopping, I actually got this. and I think their powder, I like their loose powder. I think I got those two things for a deal for like $20 or something like that. It was like this is a full size, I believe, and that's a travel size. So I kind of knew I wasn't gonna like this, and I was comfortable with the price because it worked out that I'd get her a free primer and I'd get this, but I wanted to try it, and so I did try it, and it's actually not as bad as I thought, but it's definitely too matte for my skin. Like I said in previous ones, I like my oils to come through. This literally is preventing any oil from ever coming through. So if you have oily skin, can't vouch because I don't have it, but it seems like that'd be a good fit. Okay, I'm gonna try, oh, I forgot a concealer too. Two concealers, sorry guys. This is the Candid Revlon concealer. I never really loved the concealer. I do love the foundation. I don't even know if they still sell it anymore, but I did love the foundation. I had like, at one time I probably had 5 bottles of it because I was just pouring through it and I was kicking them out fast pre-COVID. And even early COVID, it worked really good on our masks. I've never cared for this. I rebought it because it was on sale and I was like, well, everybody always loves it. I should try it. I should know better since I think that. So I don't even know if I used this actively for my makeup once the entire time I had it since I rebought it. I know I used it for my eyelids. That's about it. And I don't even like concealer on my eyelids. That's the funniest part. So I was like reaching to try to find something to use it for. It is now old. It stinks so bad. So I am tossing that. And then a surprise, and I'm going to do these together because I was surprised. So the Milk Makeup, let's see, this is the Sunshine Skin Tint and Concealer. I actually have been using these actively for probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months, especially when I'm like going to work and I just want kind of a natural coverage. And I had no issues with this. I had no problems with it. There was no signs, nothing. And then all of a sudden, probably, I don't know, well, it had to be in March because I did my empties last month. So sometime in March I picked it up, and I always put my foundation on the back of my hand and then I kind of like smear and then I use my brush and then I smooth with a sponge. I know, a lot, but it works for me and it tends to look good. I went to do this and nothing but oil came out. I mean, it was like straight up oil. And so I was like, oh, you know, maybe you need to shake them. And I was like trying everything. No, they're bad. And the concealer was the same way. So I think they must have hit from the last time I used them in January or February to now, they just went off. So these are gone. We were just talking about that Candid foundation. I did have 2 in my possession still, and I was hoping they were still going to be good. So when I did my declutter in December, I did keep them. They are not. They are so far past gone. I mean, the packages, not this one. You can see I used a lot of that, but they're actually swollen. Like they have a lot of firmness to them because there's like, obviously the foundation is decaying in there, literally. So those are garbage. 2 that I am throwing away, but I'm not giving away because the coloring is too light for her, is the Bite Beauty one. The L10, this lighter one, probably is closer to my skin tone, or if these two had a baby. Like that's probably what it is. This one is going off. I'm not sure. I think this one's older actually, but I got this one when it was closing. I got this one prior. It just had literally was in my drawer. I'd never used it. So why did I buy another one? Who knows? Whatever. Sorry, I had to pause. I was like, I don't know if it was bass or a big truck or what, but it was so loud. So I am tossing these because they're open. I didn't check these age because I knew I was getting rid of them. So I'm letting these go. And again, because it's a cream, I am not going to pass these on. I will pass creams on to my daughter when I think she can possibly use them or someone around her can, but I don't just do it for anything. Like a case in point is this one. This is the NYX Bear With Me Blur. I actually bought this. I saw it on Ulta's website before I had even heard it was being released, before I ever saw it on like anybody's coming to new drugstore. And so I bought it with the idea of doing a makeup. After I bought it, and I got it for free in a points order. So that was like win-win. I got it for free. I get to try it. Afterward, I started realizing it's a super matte, like super, super, super matte, like a double wear, stay all day type of matte. And so I never even tried it until, well, it was in March, and it was exactly what I thought. I used oil underneath and I still looked like a desert on my face. So I'm gonna give that to my daughter. She used to have really oily skin as a teenager, and now hers is more normal or combo. And so she doesn't like super ones, but they do live in Texas. So in the summer, it does help to have those matte foundations if you don't have dry skin. So I'm gonna go through some expired ones. I'm actually gonna pull out some that are not expired, that are just declutters, and I'll do those last. I have a lot of declutters, and I want to say this. So everything that I'm about to talk about, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I think there's 13 foundations right here. All 13 of these are older, expired. Check the date on that website, and they range from 2015, I think. yeah, 2015 to 2020-ish for manufacture date. Now, if they were open in 22 and they're from 2020, I don't think that would be an issue, but all of these have been open that long or longer. So some of the oldest ones in my collection, with the exception of one, actually, there are two. There's actually two I bought in 2022 on clearance at Sephora. This is from 2019, and it doesn't shock me, but I actually tried it before I checked the date and I was like, this is not working right. What is happening here? And like the tube has like a weird swollen thing too. So I think this was actually expired on the shelf when I got it. I think I paid $18 for it. So I'm not happy to lose 20 bucks, but on the same point, I didn't pay full price. I have used one of these completely before. I did used to love this foundation. And this one is one of the ones that's really old. It's from like 19 or 18, and I bought it off the shelf at Ulta in 2022, late 2022. I initially was gonna, oh, it should be fine because it wasn't open, whatever. And then as I started looking into it more, no, it really shouldn't be on the shelf that long either. So creams and stuff without air are less likely to have, you know, bacteria and age and everything else, but they still eventually will degrade. And with not having temperature control, things like that. And if you've ever worked in a cosmetics store, you know there is not that much temperature control happening in those stores, not to mention when they're shipped and on the trucks and everything else. So I made the conscious decision that these two are going. I'm not passing these to anybody. In fact, the next many I'm not passing to anybody. So some like really honorable mentions that just went bad and are fine foundations is the Dior. This is the Body or Backstage. I think the Max the Body. The Clinique Even Better Glow, which is a really nice one if you have dry skin. And then I also like the Even Better Refresh. It's a hydrating. These three all work fantastic. I got a pretty decent amount of use. This one the least. I actually got this last year in my, no, 2 years ago in my Ulta Diamond gift. They always do Clinique foundations for some reason. So I like all three of these, just getting rid of them purely because of age. Another two I really like is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Foundation. I've heard this is being discontinued, or maybe already has. I don't know, but I really like this. That's the whole reason I was like refusing to declutter it till I saw the age on it, and I was like, that needs to go. And then this one is actually from 2020 or 2021, so it's not as old as some of these, but it is a little bit too light for me, but it does, both of these work fantastic. Some that I could give two shits about, like I'm not even trying to be funny. I should have never bought these, and I knew that when I was doing it, but it was either for a video or whatever, or I'd seen a video. So the newest one of these three is the Revolution in Real Life Filter. I do wear F2. This one's probably the least hated of these three. Still looks like shit on me. Don't like it. That one's got to go. And the other two is the Conceal and Glow and Conceal and Hydrate. My understanding is they're all discontinued except for the in real life, or in real life. It is. It's IRL. But these are, I think, F2 and F1. So these, I don't think I wore them but once or twice. And not that Revolution is expensive. It's not cheap. And why buy something you're not going to use? So this is part of what's driving this whole consciousness about my beauty. One that I literally has my heart in a vice grip is the NARS Sheer Glow. I love this foundation. I am going to keep the pump. I bought the pump separate because it never comes with the pump. But it is such a beautiful foundation. This is from one of the ones that are like 17. It's from 2017. So I'm not keeping this, but I'm not tossing it in the garbage right now because I got to clean the pump. So in the last two, Tarte, I think this is the one that was hard to find it, but it was from 19. This is their Found Sealer one. I used to love this. I think my skin is so dry in the winter, I can't really wear it anymore, so I'm getting rid of that. And then the Huda Beauty. This is the stick foundation. Looks like that. This has never been my favorite. I got it either, I think it was during the buy one get one sale in either 21 or 22. And I bought it because I had already bought everything else. I needed one more free item. So I did add this, but it was manufactured a long time ago. This was like a 19 as well. So this has got to go. Now, mind you, I've had it since 21 or whatever, so it probably wasn't open. It probably would have been fine, but now it's not. We've gone too far. So all the rest of these foundations are bought this year or, well, all but one, I think. Two are not from this year, but one's from last year and one is older. So the one that's older is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish. This actually I received free. If you ordered a certain amount, you got it free. I know it wasn't last Christmas, I don't think, so it must have been either the Christmas before or sometime in that, so late 2021 into 2022 maybe. But I've used this 3 times, hated it all 3 times, but kept keeping it because it was Charlotte Tilbury. So we're not doing that anymore. We're gonna let it go. I can't use it, and nobody around me is gonna want to use it. Another one that I bit into and bought is the Catrice True Skin. This is too much for my dry skin. My skin looks hideous in this, so we're gonna let this go. And because the color shade in it, I know she can't use it. You're going to see a couple here that I am going to give her because I think she may be able to use it. The one I was talking about that, is it this one? No, it's this one. So the one I was talking about that is supposed to be hydrating and dry down so fast I couldn't even blend it is the CoverGirl True Blend Hydrating Foundation and Smoothing. This is too fair for me. And what's funny is these are both, oh no, I must have grabbed the other one. I could tell by looking at it. So if you look, these two are totally different colors, but they have similar names. So one is Classic Ivory and one is Fair Ivory. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not either one of these, but that's another conversation. I apologize. This is the one I tried on because I know by the lightness, it made me look ghostly white. I mean, ghostly. And then also it dried so fast, but it makes sense if this isn't the moisturizing or hydrating one. This is Extreme Wear Light Airbrush Finish. I am going to see if I can donate this to, we have a shelter near us that takes makeup if it's in a pump or if it's powder that can be disinfected. So I'm going to see if I can drop that off. If not, I will be tossing it. It was horrible. And then the True Blend is actually a shade too dark for me. So I'm going to see if she can use it and give that to her. And then another one I'm giving to her that I have a feeling she's not going to be able to use, but it was really expensive, so I'm hoping she can, is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Best Beautiful Skin Foundation, and you can see I barely use any of it. This looks horrible on my skin. I am not going to invest in her foundations anymore. She just gears towards that matter, drier. Like I hear people complain this is too glowy. Well, I must have desert skin because this looks matte on my skin. So this is going to her. And again, if she can't use it, she can pass it, toss it, whatever. And then the last foundation I have in this declutter is I just bought this year. And I mean like in February. This is the Dewy and Smooth Normal to Dry Fit Me Foundation. And this is in shade 110. I used to wear 115 when I wore this, but I figured it's winter and probably fair. This is way darker. I actually took a picture and went to the store and compared them, and this is darker than the other 110. So I think one of two things happened. Either it oxidized in the container and it's older, which I did run the number, and it's older. It's a lot older. Or I thought maybe they put the wrong color in it. Now that I know that shade from that website, Check Fresh, I'm actually tossing it. I had planned to give it to her because I just bought it, but since it's so old, I'm gonna let it go. It probably got, you know, if you've ever worked in retail, you stock, you bring the old stuff forward, put the new stuff in the back, but not everybody does that. Not everybody knows to do that. So it's probably a situation where it got pushed to the back repeatedly and then you have old stock being sold. So it happens. I mean, stores do their best. It happens. Stores do their best to try to prevent that, but it happens. So 2 declutters I'm doing, and these are ancient, so I am throwing them away because I used to love these. These used to be some of my favorite things in the entire powder world, but I've tried them now. I think between January 1st and I've probably tried them 10 times, and I hated my makeup every single time. My makeup came out hideous. And that is the Fenty. I have the butter and the lavender. What is it called? Yeah, lavender. This one, I think that this is just, my skin's changed, your preferences change, everything changes, and these are from when they first came out. Like, these are old. So I am going to toss these, and they are going in the actual trash. So then we have a basket of others. I'm gonna try to grab some off the top that are actually like powders and stuff like what we're talking about right now. So just to stick with the powders for just a minute, I have 5 powders here. All of these are expired or should be. One is borderline, but I'm not going to use it. So the one that's borderline is the Secret Brightening Powder by Laura Mercier. This probably would have been my favorite in my 30s or late 20s when I just started to get a little bit of dry eye and really didn't have any aging. This makes my under eyes look like 147 every single time. I'm like, hi zombie, how are you? And then another one that's probably expired but probably borderline is the Velvetizer by Urban Decay. This was a really popular powder back, say, maybe in as early as 13 and 14, but definitely 15, 16, and 17. I never bought it when it was originally like super popular. And then I came across it at Ulta when I had points to burn, and I picked it up and never liked it. Never liked it. It's probably again made for dry skin, oily skin or combo, but I hated it, and I should have passed it a long time ago so that my daughter could use it, but it's been a long time now, so we're gonna let that go. And then 2 that are straight up expired because I'm pretty sure I bought these when I worked at Ulta, which I haven't worked at Ulta since 21, I think. So one has a 12-month shelf life and the other one says expired in August of 21. And it's still in my collection. So one that expired is the Pure powder. This is the 4-in-1 pressed mineral powder. I did get some use out of this. I did like it. It was a pretty powder, but it is definitely one. Pure's products tend to expire pretty fast, so I'm going to stop with that. And then the other one is the Born This Way powder. I had this in my pan challenge for the first, I think, month, maybe 2. And I said, I'm going to keep it for a couple weeks and see if I like it. And if not, I'm going to get rid of it. So I looked at it and I'm like, I haven't reached for it once and honestly I have no urge to. And it's probably expired by a lot. So we're going to let that go. I did try to use this today. This is from the Balm. This is from that same video. I did the full face I wanted to do. It's Sexy Mama Anti-Shine Translucent Powder. And it does look like this. It doesn't come out that dark. It's actually just a translucent color, but it's just a like really dry formula, and it could be because it's expired. It doesn't mean it's reflective of the product. I'd say that about majority of the stuff. It's old. So we're gonna let that go. 2 kind of oddball things is the ColourPop Party Proof. I got this in my ColourPop mystery bag. It sucks. It's horrible. It's hard to even get on your eyelid. And then another free item was the Jaclyn Cosmetics Hydrating Under Eye Primer. This came in, like, if you bought Jaclyn, you got this for free from Ulta, I think last year. It sucks. It's horrible. It makes your makeup like separate underneath. I tried using a little bit, using a lot. None of it works. So I'm not actually buying Jaclyn anymore, especially with what's happened in the last, I would say, well, how many years, but in particular the last 6 months to a year. So I'm not actively buying it, but there are some products of hers that I paid for I'm going to use till they're gone, because me throwing it away does nothing but throw money away. Me not buying in the future prevents that from being made, right? Does that make sense? So this is going in the trash. Then just so I can keep these, there's a couple brands that I have stuffed together just because they were like new releases or whatever together. I have the Kaleidos Lo-Fi Duo Blushers. These came out probably 19, I would imagine. So one looks like this. It's kind of like a cool toned pink. And one looks like this. It's more of a warm tone pink. The highlighter is basically impossible for me to use because I'm not into those like duo shade type highlighters anymore. And so the blushers I could be using, but I have a million blush. And so I kept holding on to these thinking I'm going to use them. I'm going to find a way to use them. I'll use the highlighter as blush topper or as lid topper, whatever. I'm not using them, and they're old and I need to accept that. I wasted my money on these and let them go. So I'm tossing these. They are going bye-bye. And then along with that are the Kaleidos highlighters. So there's I'm combining 2 words. Mars Melter, Moon Cruiser, and I'm not going to swatch these because then I'll want to keep them. Diamond Dasher, which was in my pan challenge, and Star Surfer. So these came out again in like I think 19, and I am letting them go because one, they're impossible to use because I'm not into that like brighter like duochrome type highlighters, and I don't even use it on my lids very often anymore. And then also because they're ancient, and I think the water formulas probably do start decaying whether I want to live by that or not. So those are gone. 2 that were, one was in my pan challenge, but I bought them in the same day, so I decided to clutter both, is the Too Faced. This is from the Tutti Frutti collection, so there is the Papaya Pop and the Sparkling Pineapple. I got almost no use out of the Papaya Pop. I did get a decent amount of use out of this, not as much in my pan challenge, but previously. In fact, the one shade's really dug in because it's a cute inner corner. And then the Papaya, I barely used. I am tossing this. I got these on clearance for like $3 when it was being clearanced originally, so they are quite old. I'm going to organize this really quick, and then I'll come back and go through them. Okay, a few quick ones that really aren't that important, but I'm just letting you know because they're with all the other stuff. So I have 3 cream eyeshadows. I'm just getting rid of them because they are at least 3 years old and maybe even 4. So I'm getting rid of them. These are from when I used to get like BoxyCharm and Ipsy, and I haven't got them in a long time. So these are going in the trash. One I'm super angry about is the Fenty Beauty. This is the Double Cheeked Up Peony Droppa and Malibu's. I got this because I absolutely love these. These are stuff, like I mix them with concealer on my back of my hand, and you can get as much of a pop or a hint of a pop of color as you want. They were beautiful. They are almost entirely dried out, and it's not just me. At Sephora, I went and looked, and other people reviewing as well. These are from holiday. They came out in December, I believe, of 2022. I bought mine right around December. It wasn't Christmas, but I was out at the mall, and that's when I bought it, and it's dried up. I'm pissed about that. And actually, I want to point out there's something different about Fenty, because I bought the Amber cream bronzer when it first released, and I almost used it up and panned it and just threw it away in January, I believe, or December. I threw it away, and it had just went bad from when they first came out. I bought one during Black Friday shopping, and it's already drying out. So there's something going on with their formula. So I probably will steer clear of their cream formula for a little while. And that's probably one of my, if not my all-time favorite brand. And I'm not wasting my money like that. One that's my fault, not the brand's fault, is the Glossier Cloud Paint, and this is in Beam. This is one that I knew not to buy this color, but I did it anyways, and that's why it never got used. And now if you look, it's damn near brand new, but it's got that same, it's not like bendable like it used to be. It's fat because it's going bad. One that is the company's is, this has faulty packaging. This is an Elf Luminous bronzer in Maui. And I actually use this quite a bit if it'll pick up on camera, but it's actually completely dried out, and it's not because I left it, it's because the lid doesn't actually close all the way. Even when it's fully closed, it like jiggles. So I think the air was getting in. So this is, I have almost every color, if not every color, and this is the only one that dried out. So I do think it's faulty packaging. Another faulty packaging is the roller lash from Benefit. I actually love this. This is the travel size. I always buy the travel size. I have an impairment, whatever you want to call it, called essential tremors. So my hands shake. It looks a lot like Parkinson's when I'm not on my medication or in times of high stress, things like that. Like I always take my meds like about 2 hours before I film so that my hands don't shake as bad. So this is one of the few that I can use, and it doesn't cause me to have huge issues. The tip of this one has never worked the entire time. There's no eyeliner that gets to the tip. It's like faulty or something. I don't know what the deal is, but I just bought that in February. Gone. It's like you can't even use it. One that's, if you can tell from the packaging, if you remember this packaging, will you comment down below if you know what this is? This is from the Desi Perkins thing from like 2018. There's no way I should be using that on my eye. So that's going in the trash. One I use most of, but it's now obviously gone bad, is, again, you can feel the fatness of it, is the Thick It Stick It by NYX, and this is in taupe. I love this brow cream. It's actually amazing. It's amazing if you have tougher brows or brows that don't want to cooperate. I have pretty thick brows who like to do their own thing without telling me, and that's what this is great for. These two barely got used, and in fact, I don't know if this Fenty ever got used. No, I don't think this Fenty ever got used. Nope, it's still perfectly clean. So this is the Fenty Beauty Brow MVP. I did get this maybe a year ago or so. I'm going to send it to my daughter. She can try it. If she doesn't like it, she can toss it. And then this is the Wow Brow from e.l.f. I don't have a shade on here, but it's probably taupe because that's usually what I do. This is Older Than Dirt. It was in the back of my drawer and I didn't realize it, so I am getting rid of that. So few kind of bigger ones that I think people actually would care about is I'm getting rid of 3 Natasha Denonas. I am trying to kind of pull back from this whole obsession collection thing. I am going to be parting ways with some expired and old makeup from Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath. Even if they don't longer make it, I'm going to part with it because there's some eyeshadows I know for a fact from Pat McGrath that I have quads that are disgustingly expired. They actually feel expired. So you're going to see these as I work my way through. I am decluttering my Bloom. I did get a lot of use out of this when I first got it. This is one of the ones that have the glass door, and then they have cream down here and powder up here. So when I first got this, first of all, it was my only Natasha Denona quad for the face, so I used it all the time. It also gave me like an alternate from my Hourglass palette, and I liked it a lot. Slowly I started realizing that I don't have a lot of texture, and it was making it look like I had texture, so I slowly backed away. The cream systems dried out, and the powder's still really gritty. I don't actually remember if they felt that way to begin with, I'm not sure. And then my 2 favorites that I used to, whenever we went on our zoo trips or anything else, I would take is the Natasha Denona Blush and Glow and the Natasha Denona Bronze and Glow. This is, first of all, not a shade that I would actually use now. I'm way too fair, and I was a lot tanner back then. And then this is, I would not wear those two together now. I'm not sure how it turned out. I don't have any pictures evidence, but I'm sure it wasn't very pretty. So those are all going in the trash there. Again, the powders are getting gritty. It doesn't feel right, so we're letting those go. And they're old as hell, so we're just gonna put it out there. This one is a declutter, but it's going to my daughter because it's actually never been opened. I used to own this and I decluttered it when I went through and did a huge declutter back. It had to be 2021 because 2020 is when I stopped buying makeup, and then I was like hoarding it because I couldn't buy any because I was on a budget. So I was like hoarding all my makeup. Even if it was bad, I didn't want to get rid of it because I wasn't letting myself buy any, which is, that's a whole nother conversation. But I loved this, and so I bought it again, and it is the Prismatic Bronzer by Revlon Skin Lights. I thought I had used this. I was like, I went to pull it out the other day and I was like, you've never even used it. So I'm going to send it to her. It gives her joy to get new makeup. So, you know, she's a mom of 3 boys. And so that's the one connection that we have in common, that we both love makeup and things. Actually, we both love crickets too, but that's a whole other, the machine cricket. Another one I think some people will be like, why are you doing that, is Marc Jacobs. This is the Lush and Libido, it's called. I hate these names. And I got it purely because it was more of a cool toned kind of blush. I actually think this sucks. I think it doesn't last. It's hard to get enough tone onto your skin, and then it's gone in like an hour. So especially considering the brand is no more, I'm pretty sure I got this on a discount. Either it could have been the Nordstrom rack sales, or it could have been Macy's on sale. I don't actually remember. Actually, it was probably Neiman Marcus on sale because they have a good sale once a year or so. So this is going in the trash. It's powder. I think I'll send it to her. Not that I think she'll enjoy it because it sucks, but everybody has different uses. Some bronzers that are just expired and old. I have the Take Home the Bronze. This is one of the ones I bought. It does have a little bit of use. Like you can see the powder is used, but I don't like that one anymore. Another one that I used a lot at one time, but I no longer enjoy, is the CoverGirl High Pigment. I don't know if they have these anymore, but if you like a bronzer with a little bit of a sheen, so it's not sparkly, it's not glowy, but it has a little bit, it's not matte. That's really nice. The City Bronzer is famous. A lot of people like this. Mine has a totally different consistency now, and this could be like 5 years old for all I know. So, and if you look at the tone, it doesn't really work for my skin tone anymore. And then this one, I don't know that I ever used it for my cheeks. I think I used this for my eyeshadow the entire time when I'd be in a quick one because I did not like the tone. All of these 3 are at least 5 years old. This is at least 3 years old. I'm letting them go. I am going to try to stop this hoarding behavior. 2 that make me pained and I probably will repurchase, I'll be honest. I live in Michigan. I live right outside Detroit. We have a Michigan-based company that was on Shark Tank and is now pretty famous, and it's called the Lip Bar. They have a shop downtown Detroit that is literally the coolest shop ever, and I really try to support them. I buy their lipsticks regularly. I love their lip liners. Are like the softest, butteriest thing ever, but yet they last all day. But these are their, and again, I haven't looked, I don't even know if they still sell these, but these are the Fresh and Glow Bronzer and Blush Duos. And I have the Travel Bug and Girls Night. My husband actually took me down there for my birthday one year and bought me these the opening weekend. So the weekend that these were released. So it looks like this. These are sparkle bronzers. And then this is a glow blush. And then that was really fair, so I ended up buying a second one. And this bronzer was a little bit dark for me. And then this was the blush, which I love. And it's kind of broke, so I don't want to tilt it too far, but I love it. But these are at least 5 years old because they're from 18 or 19, I believe, because it was pre-COVID that he took me down there for my birthday. So these are going in the trash, but I probably will repurchase. Some, again, really quick ones that are just super, super old. The CoverGirl True Blend is really old. This Revlon is a cool tone. I loved this for the longest time and got a ton of use out of it, but I just don't care for it anymore. And I have so many high-end blushes that cost more money that I'd rather be using. And these are all 4 to 5, 6 years old. I did have all the primer infused blushes. I only kept like this pinky pop one from e.l.f. These, if you are on a budget, these are fantastic if they still sell them. I love these. They work fantastic, but this is 4 or 5 years old. Well, at least 4, because it's at least 2019, if not 2018. And I have expensive ones I need to be using because I've spent a lot of money on them. So it's kind of what, as I was working through my expired stuff, that's kind of what I was doing. So then the last one I'm actually going to give to her because it's not that old and it's not that used, is the Age Perfect. This is in mauve. And this is much like the Primer Fuse. These are the butteriest, like softest blushes, and they're super pigmented. Like you have to go with the lightest hand when you have a bright color like this. So I'm hoping that, especially when she's tan in summer, that that'll work good for her. And then one I actually love, this is technically a highlighter, I believe. Yeah. I actually love this product. I think it's literally one of the best on the market. This is by ColourPop, and it is the Super Shock Cheek Highlighter Addicted to You. So I can never get this open when I go to use it. So this is one of those ones from them, and I'm actually probably gonna end up decluttering the bronzer and the powder too if I haven't already. The bronzer I know I still have. So it does look like this. It's like one of those ones that actually is different. So if you pull on one side, it looks more gold. You pull on the other side, it looks more pink. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's very glowy. Like, it's not that lit from within. You can tell you're wearing highlighter when you wear this, but it's stunning. But I can't stand the packaging. I always have nails and I can't deal with it. So if you've made it that far in this declutter, my makeup is a lot lighter. My foundation fits in one drawer now. It's so scary. I've never had that in my entire, at least 5 years. So I'm actually happy where I'm at right now, but I'm not done. As I said, I'm going to be going through shadows. I'm going to be going through other stuff. I'm going to be decluttering because here's my thing is, if it's not healthy for me to have it on my skin, then why am I keeping it? So like example, I have a pile of Fenty eyeshadows down here that don't work anymore. They've just dried out. They're old. Some of them are like 5, 6, 7 years old, I think. I don't know for sure because I don't know when they were released, but I know I bought them on clearance at least 5, 6 years ago. And then I have other ones that were from like pre-COVID or during COVID and they don't work anymore. And instead of throwing away, I put them in this little bin down here and was like, oh, I'm going to save them for memories. I don't need to save stuff for memories. So I will have more declutters. I think I'm doing quarterly because one of the things my pan challenge does is I have chopping blocks. So if I don't like it, I'm getting rid of it. And that'll give me a chance to add those to the clutter too. So look for the next one probably around June. So if you like declutters, if you like pan challenges, empties, things like that, beauty reviews, I hope that you will like, share, subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications, and wherever you are, whatever you're doing, hope your pan challenges are going great. And I hope I see you again soon. Bye guys.